Owen Shroyer has changed the internet forever. He's been more right than anyone else in the media over the past 10 years. I've got his top 5 moments, and this video is going to change your perspective about the way politics is covered online. Not only has he been more right than anyone, I had a chance to meet him, and he's the real deal in person as well. I had a conversation with Owen Shroyer that will blow your mind. Stay tuned for that later, but first, who is this guy? Owen Shroyer is the lead reporter on Alex Jones's Infowars network, and whenever you hear Alex Jones or Infowars, the first thing that haters bring up is Sandy Hook and Alex Jones harassing the families of Sandy Hook and getting sued for billions of dollars. And before I go any further, I just want to hit on this to show you how no one in politics or the media cared about Alex Jones and Sandy Hook until over 4 years after it happened, when Hillary Clinton and the Democrats launched a massive campaign to take down Alex Jones and Infowars because they were such a popular and successful voice in supporting Trump in the 2016 presidential campaign. Watch this.
Go to Google, search Alex Jones, Sandy Hook, go to the news tab, go to custom date from January 1st, 2013, so that would have been 2 weeks after Sandy Hook occurred, to January 1st, 2016, and I searched Alex Jones, Sandy Hook. And what you'll find, there's just nothing. There's not a single headline or a single story about Alex Jones being related to Sandy Hook. Not a single one. But the interesting thing is, change the parameters from January 1st, 2016 to January 1st, 2020, suddenly there's thousands. And it just goes on and on and on. The first story relating Alex Jones to Sandy Hook was literally 1 week after the election in 2016. Sandy Hook truther Alex Jones says he got a nice thank you call from the president-elect. And then it was 1 day after that, daughter of Sandy Hook victim demands Donald Trump disown Alex Jones.
I also want to point out that during this time, Alex Jones and Infowars were at the center of what were, in my opinion, 2 of the biggest political interviews of all time.
You will be attacked for coming on, and we know you know that. Thank you.
One was when Alex Jones went on the Joe Rogan podcast for the first time in 2016 and completely broke the internet with tens of millions of views. It was Joe Rogan's biggest podcast ever at the time and stayed his biggest podcast ever for 3 years, even though it was banned from Apple Podcasts. The second was when Donald Trump went on the Alex Jones show and Infowars during the 2016 presidential campaign and again broke the internet with tens of millions of views.
I just want to finish by saying your reputation's amazing. I will not let you down. You will be very, very impressed, I hope. And I think we'll be speaking a lot, but you'll be looking at me in a year or 2 years. Let's give me a little bit of a time to run things. But a year into office, you'll be saying, wow, I remember that interview. He said he was going to do it, and he did a great job. You'll be very proud of our country.
Those 2 interviews red-pilled millions of people, including myself. I remember watching the Trump-Alex Jones interview when I was in college and having my mind blown because I kind of liked Trump, I kind of liked Alex Jones, and watching these 2 guys who had never met before sit there and know so many of the same things about the world and basically finish each other's sentences really opened my eyes to the fact that there's a lot more going on in the world that I'm not aware of. Those 2 interviews are part of what began the attack on Alex Jones, Owen Shroyer, and Infowars by Big Tech. They were the first 2 people to be banned off of virtually all social media platforms. They each had millions of followers on YouTube and Twitter, and at the snap of a finger, both of those accounts were completely deleted for committing the crime of being correct politically and effectively supporting Trump. Okay, so now to Owen Shroyer and his top 5 moments that highlight why he has been so effective in the information war over the past 10 years. Owen gave up a lucrative career in sports media after he got the calling to jump into politics, and he made his first splash during an encounter on the streets of the Republican National Convention in 2016 with Van Jones from CNN, when Owen held his own in a racially charged debate with Van Jones following the riots in Ferguson, Missouri after the death of Michael Brown.
Well, I would say that if anybody is trying to build fear and race bait, it would be your network, CNN, when you promote the Black Lives Matter protests that have been violent. We've had cops get killed, and yet there's a lot of rhetoric on CNN that supports the BLM movement and continues the racial divide in this country. Let's be honest here. In an investigation of the Michael Brown and Darren Wilson case, it's been proven that hands up, don't shoot was a false narrative. And it was also proven that Darren Wilson protected his life and was right in the actions he took.
Who proved that?
There was an investigation.
By who?
By Barack Obama's Justice Department.
A lot of people really liked that Owen was even able to find common ground with Van Jones.
Aren't you concerned about the widespread abuse that your department, you agree with, found?
Well, I would say that if there is an issue there, it starts with the war on drugs and the mandatory minimum legislation that was brought in by Bill and Hillary Clinton. That is what has resulted in most of these African Americans being charged and arrested. So if you want to protest against that, I think that that's the route you got to take is stop the war on drugs and stop mandatory minimums.
We agree on that.
Moment number 2 began in 2018 when Owen arrived inside the U.S. Capitol while an impeach Trump protest was going on and tried to see if one protester could tell him why Trump was being impeached.
Can anybody tell me why Trump was impeached? Can anybody tell me why Trump was impeached? None of you can. Because no, that's not true. It was Ukraine. It was the phone call with Ukraine. So they don't even know why. They don't even know why Trump was impeached. It was the phone call with Ukraine. So there you go. Another impeached Trump crowd that can't say why Trump should be impeached. You can go to every impeached Trump rally in this country, and not one of them can say why Trump should be impeached.
2 days later, in the wake of being banned from social media, Owen stood in the exact same place as the impeached Trump protesters with a piece of tape over his mouth and a sign in his hand saying that he had been banned from social media, and he was swiftly arrested by Capitol Police for committing the crime of demonstrating politically inside the U.S. Capitol.
Do you approach all the people who stand here quietly?
Consider an act of demonstration, and you don't cease to snitch, you'll be arrested.
Sir, the impeached Trump protesters come here every single day. We saw them here. We actually confronted them. Is there a reason why they aren't arrested every day?
Remember, this is the exact same spot the impeached Trump protesters were demonstrating in 2 days earlier.
Do you guys tell the impeached Trump protesters the same thing? I'm just asking. I just want to know. You don't want to play with me. I'm just standing here. So there you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Moment number 3 was during that same sham impeachment of Trump when, again, you could walk up to 10 random people on the streets and maybe one of them would be able to tell you why Trump was being impeached, and Owen Shroyer stepped up and did what, frankly, no one else had the guts to do.
Jerry Nadler and the Democrat Party are committing treason against this country, and you can kick me out, but he's the one committing crimes. You are, Jerry Nadler. You're the one committing treason. America's done with this. America's sick of the treason committed by the Democrat Party. They're not going to sit here and watch me run an impeachment and remove our vote. We voted for Donald Trump, and they're simply removing it because they don't like it. Americans are sick of your impeachment scandal. They're sick of the Democrat treason. We know who committed the crimes, and it wasn't Trump.
For moment number 4, there's an endless compilation of Owen on the streets at leftist protests over the years.
What did we report that's fake?
Just about 90% of what...
So just name 1 or 2 things. It should be easy.
I'm really not interested in...
So nothing?
But I personally really appreciated how strongly Owen and Infowars opposed the mask and vaccine mandates during COVID. Here's a video of Owen at a protest that was, get this, in favor of mask mandates.
But go look at the death rate in the United States. The death rate in the United States of America did not go up a single percent. Not a single percent. Not a single percent. Not even a tenth of a single percent. Where's your deadly pandemic? What are you so afraid of? And how come not a single one of you can answer a simple question, are you pro-government or pro-freedom? Because you know your answer is pro-government, and that's the most unpopular thing in the world right now is government.
For moment number 5, stay tuned after this clip for my crazy story about meeting Owen Shroyer, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. For moment number 5, I saved the best for last. After 2 months in a federal penitentiary, including several weeks in solitary confinement, Owen was released from prison and attended the book tour for the pathetic former FBI director James Comey.
Yeah! James Comey! James Comey! The fired FBI director, James Comey! The deep state hero, James Comey! The Democrat hero, James Comey! You did it! He illegally investigated Donald Trump! Thank you, Comey, for weaponizing the FBI against Donald Trump! Thank you for covering up Hillary Clinton's crimes and setting the stage for the FBI to cover up the Biden crimes too. Come on, y'all! Let's hear it for James Comey! Come on, we love the FBI! We love the federal government! Why? You guys why? You don't love the FBI? You guys don't appreciate James Comey weaponizing the government against Donald Trump? Come on, James! Don't you should be happy! Donald Trump is the bad guy! We should be happy Comey weaponized the government against Trump. What the heck?
Okay, my story of meeting Owen Shroyer. I met Owen at CPAC in 2020 in DC, and I went up to him because I was really curious. I had seen him say that the moment that red pilled him was when he investigated the Boston Marathon bombings for the first time. And I was really curious because I had never heard any theories outside the norm for the Boston Marathon bombings. So I asked him about it. He broke the whole thing down for me. I can't articulate it as well as he did, but he basically said that the two suspects in the Boston Marathon bombing had already worked for the FBI and the US government as informants in the Middle East on a different subject. So the government, the FBI, knew exactly who these guys were, but yet everything they were putting out in the media was, who are these guys? Help us identify them. Help us find them. We don't know who they are. When there was proof that they did know exactly who these two guys were. That was number one. Number two was everybody who was involved in that case, from the investigators to the detectives to the judges, every single one of them got some big promotion after the whole thing was over. They got all these better jobs, higher paying jobs. And you can always tell when something's a sham when you see what happens to all the people involved afterwards.
You will be attacked for coming on, and we know you know that. Thank you.
So he broke down the whole Boston Marathon bombing for me. I was telling him about how he was inspiring me to want to get off the sidelines and get involved in political media. And I also said to him, listen, I can't wait to vote for you for office someday because I can't think of anybody who would be a more effective politician than you. And he said to me something that was really cool. He said, Sean, listen, whenever you get off the sidelines and get involved in political media and you lap me in media, I will then run for office. I thought that was so cool. All of this to say, Owen Shroyer has changed the internet forever.